Hi, I'm Adriana Galinek, your embodiment and relationship coach, and this is my podcast. I spend most of my time reconnecting relationships, diving deep between the land of energy, and helping those couples, ignite that spark back in the bedroom. This podcast is for the universal, spellbinding people who love a little woo-woo and a thunder of truth. You're listening to Love, Sex, and Energy. Let's jump in. Hey, welcome to another episode of Love, Sex, and Energy. I'm your host, Adriana Galinek, and today we're talking about clarity readings. What are clarity readings and how do I use these readings to help people get back on track and reconnect? So clarity readings is where I begin. When you work with me, clarity readings will always be the first thing that I do because I dive into where you are. What does that look like? As opposed of a standard tarot deck reading card where you read a card and it tells, your foreseen future or where you're at, I like to incorporate a bit of background work. So before I have a meeting with you or I schedule a session, I tend to just close my eyes and reconnect because I have permission to work with your higher self, and I download some information, some clairaudient, and I get this information and I start connecting the pieces together. So I will scribe and write and sometimes do it's quite funny actually, just writing some random numbers or different things that associate yourself with where you're at. And you might come to me for a clarity reading for something else, and lo and behold, we're talking about something else that might need to be validated. So sometimes I might be tuning into the other side and connecting with a loved one who's passed away and wants to pass on some messages. And that doesn't happen all the time. I try not to work mediumship in that regards because I used to do a lot of that work when I was little, and they used to come during the night when I was sleeping, and it was really hard to switch off because they come and visit and they either talking or they're sitting or hovering around. So I get some traumatized. Not really traumatized, but it's just like the energy that I don't like working in, even though some of them are really helpful. If you are very closed and you don't believe in this stuff, then obviously I'm only going to get what your energy will allow me to, receive in a way, or sometimes I get information that only you know. And if I say it, it could mean something so ridiculous. There could be a song or there could be a description. I remember when I was working with one lady and I'd never been to her house, didn't do it through Zoom or anything like that. So it was really funny. And I said to her, her mum, and it was her father actually kept coming through, and she was just I can tell she was just really, right, yeah, that deflective energy. And I said, look, you have a seat, you have a double story. I said, I can see that you sit upstairs in your retreat area, and there is a chair near your window. They're just telling me that they come in and they check on you, or that you've noticed that they've been around, and you just do a double look. And she'd say, oh, nobody knows that. And I'm like, I know, I don't mean to creep you out, but that just validating that I know I've got the right person, and then we can go into what needs to be spoken about. So that's generally the start. I have a sketch pen and paper, and this paper, it's really funny. I've kind of adapted this weird little doodly drawing thing that I do, and it just I can automatically see what chakras are switched off or need work. I can associate numbers with ages from where different traumas and things have occurred. So if you have not heard of my Awakening Heroine program, that's what that bites into. So you get a clarity reading within that, and then we start opening up Pandora's box and start fine-tuning some information and seeing where you're at. And then you go into my steps of my program, which is seeing the vibration that you're in, clearing your vibration, dealing with traumas, learning how to meditate and bring your awareness to you. And then we slowly work into feeling good, loving the body that you're in, and then communication and learning how to communicate with others. So there's a whole step and series that follows. But for those who just want clarity readings, this is what it is. I sit there with you. It takes about 45 minutes. The last 10 minutes of your session is just reading your cards to see where you're at. And usually when we do them, I'm always validated by the cards anyway. I don't even know why I shouldn't say that, why I use them or why I don't use my cards. It's almost a validation for myself. So when I do, I'm like, oh yes, that's what we've just spoken about, and it comes out through the cards, which is very interesting. So here I am, I'm doodling away, and I give you some numbers. And I said, okay, these are what you've given me. This is what they've given me. My higher self have given me these numbers. And then I start poking, okay, what's happening then? Usually in those timelines, often when there's been change or events that have happened or triggers that have occurred and things that are not resolved. So when they're not resolved, it's almost like an anchor in your system. And if you wonder why you can't shift and change and progress, it's because we always look back at that point. And that point is almost a pain point that stops you from, I guess, progressing to the next stage of your life, because you seem to get triggered, or you look back and go, oh my gosh, that happened to me when I was that age, or it just brings back all these memories, and these memories are sometimes not dealt with. And if you are not moving forward, if you're not progressing, if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you're just in that stuck vibration, it is so helpful to get one of these readings. And if you are after one of these readings, or you're interested to know what a little bit about it is, you can click into one of my links and you can book yourself a time to work with me. And if you're really super keen to know what's a little bit more about, you can jump over in my Love, Sex, Energy group. It's for free. I do monthly readings for free, yes, on a Monday. Full moon readings, they're called. And often people book their time in with me through there because they are at 50% off if you're a new member into our group. And I love it because it helps. Sometimes they have aha moments, and sometimes they're like, that doesn't relate to me. I don't know what she's talking about. And these are through my clarity sessions. It's really funny because then they go back. I've had a few people come back to me and are working in my awakening group because they're like, oh my gosh, that happened to me and it was 3 months ago. And I didn't believe any of this. I was just, on a whim, checking this out, wanted to know more about it. And everything that you've said has validated. So sometimes when we do these readings and this work, I love to do clarity readings because it unshifts and unpacks the past so you can move forward. And it's a gentle nudge in the right direction. It's a nice way of creating, imagine storage space. Imagine your storage room is full of boxes and clutter and things. And then all of a sudden you shift these boxes out of the way and there is more space to be breathing, some creative energy space. It allows you to acknowledge your past, but it doesn't affect your future. And sometimes during my sessions, depending on where you're sitting, I like to cut the cords. I'm a Reiki master and we work with energy and connecting with other people, and we are able to connect, to disconnect connections from your past. I tend to work on energy from behind. So as people are talking in the background, I'm actually doing some other work, and you might see me moving my hands around a little bit, or you might think I'm distracted or writing things down, but it's something that I don't know, it's just this thing that I've created over the time that's worked for me to help connect to you. So like I said, it's a great experience. It's nothing to be scared at, or people that have had also some objections saying like, no, I don't believe in that, or I don't want to read my future. And it's not about reading into your future, though there are many psychics that can read into your future and unfold that. I always say you are the master of your own destiny. We are destined to be, create, do. We are these amazing beings enjoying a earth experience. And I know that you might go, oh my God, what is she talking about? But there is no right or wrong and nothing to be scared. It just is what it is. And if you get these clarity readings, they're so freeing. It's relaxing. It's sometimes funny, sometimes teary. And just to remember, when you are with me, when we're exchanging energy for energy, I pick up on your energy. So if you're tearful, I'll be tearful. If you have these emotions or gut feelings, sometimes I pick on the same feelings and emotions. So hopefully that's helpful. When I do my clarity readings, it's not just a one-stop shop. Sometimes I offer you different techniques or things that you can take away and use. If you don't want to, jump into my program, my weekend program, where you get to work with me one-on-one within the groups, you can, like I, tell you to write some things down and to use them to help you create some of the shifts. And, and sometimes I reach out, not sometimes, I always reach out after a few days and to see how you're going and how you're digesting what I've been telling you and how does that feel, because I never want to leave anyone open and exposed to what they've been through. So that's a really great tip. And if you've never experienced one, a clarity reading, please reach out. It is super cool, super fun. I did a clarity reading. My mum, she suffered a really severe case of cancer, and I remember her saying, you need to do a reading for me. You need to, and pestering me, you need to do a reading. I generally don't do things for family because, one, they're very skeptical, and two, they think that I know everything already, so what's the point? Or three, they mock me. They actually joke around and think that I'm crazy. So I just tend to put a no-go zone for family members. But this one time, my mum, she was asking me, and I just felt like, okay, look, today's the day I'm going to do it. But I said to her, I'm going to do a full reading on you, and if you have the opportunity to come and see me, I can do face-to-face readings now that obviously COVID's been there and done that, so we can move forward. And I sat with her and I've done reading. I did a full body, I did her normal reading, and of course everything was agreeable, right? Because that's what they want to know. But I said to her, look, I'm going to do a body scan on you. And at that time, the mum had she had a work injury, and she's hurt her neck and her arm, terribly, not a joke. She hasn't even got full movement today. So it's just an ongoing issue she has. Anyway, I said to her, looking around, I said, I know you're not going to believe me, but I see things in colours as well. So when I look into your body, I can sometimes see when things are off, or they will tell me, this person needs this or this person needs that. And that happened to be the day that my mum sat there, and I was just doing a body scan because I was clearing some of her energy, disconnecting some of her, I guess, cutting the cords from past people from her. And I said, oh, I know you're not going to believe me. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, I can see that you've got, and I didn't say a lump on her breast. I just said, it's showing me it's really bright red and it's really severe, and you need to go and get this checked, because she ended up having a lump on her breast. And lo and behold, 3 days later, she found this lump on her breast, and it was quite severe. She ended up having intensive chemo. It was just mind-boggling. It was just not a pleasant experience for her. But 3 days after our session, she took it seriously and went to the doctors, and lo and behold, it was a type of breast cancer which was pretty intense, and I don't wish that upon anybody. So, it might, sometimes when I do these readings, sometimes they come up, and that things come up where I don't want to talk about it, and I have to, and especially with loved ones, it's really tough. It's really, really hard. Another one that I did, they came over, and I get this annoying, it's not a buzz feeling. It's hard to describe what I experience, but I get information, they tell me things, and they just don't bugger off if I'm not being serious about it. And it was a lady who was sitting across me, and she was like a really amazing high director of a company I used to work for. And I said to her, I know you're not going to believe me, but I need to tell you this. And she ended up having a stomach, what do you call them? Like a band? One of those bands. I don't even know how they do it these days or what it is, but it's for a gastric surgery or whatever that is. You know what I mean. So I remember telling her that this band that she got on her stomach wasn't put properly, and they kept showing me this picture of a band around her stomach, tightening. It was really, really sore. And I said, I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to let you know that you need to go and get this fixed. And she did not come over for any of that. She came over for a coffee to tell me what I'm doing for the next part of my life. And she said, no one knows that. She goes, I've been complaining to my doctor that I don't feel well and something's not right to get it, I need to get it fixed. She ended up going back and getting it taken out or fixed or something along those. I think the sleeve was on too tight. I think that's what it was by memory. It was so long ago now. But just different things that pop up in conversations that they come up unexpectedly. So if this interests you and you want to know a little bit more about it, please reach out. I'd love to connect. I'd love to do a clarity reading. If you want to get a more for your buck, jump into my Love, Sex and Energy free community group where I do my readings. You can also connect with me there to book in your free clarity readings as well. And they happen once a month on a Monday, 10 a.m, thereabouts. And sometimes I do evening ones as well, where you can, have a taste of the pudding. And if you want to go, yeah, I would love to do more of it, then you can book yourself in for a full reading of 45 minutes. That's it for me. Hopefully that made some sense and wasn't a lot of bantered energy. Until next time, see ya. And that's it for another episode of Love, Sex and Energy. Connect on all socials at Adriana Galinek. Hit the follow button, share with friends, and if you have some time, write a review. As they say, the energy flows in universal ways, so always remember to shine bright. Till next time, see ya.